I'm going to start talking. So, I was I'm a little bit late. I got home a little bit late. I was out running, ripping running, doing my last um little bit of preparation for, I don't know if any of you guys are ready. I don't know if you've been working on your processes for tomorrow, but the rapture, I've been preparing for the rapture. It's supposed to be tomorrow where they say God is coming back and going to be um you know coming back and saving, taking everybody else. Hey, independent thinker, taking the people that are going to be saved up into the clouds tomorrow. Are any of you guys familiar with that? The rapture. Yeah. So I was out getting myself together because chances are I might be left here alone. Most of I'm sure, everybody probably gonna be going, but me, since I'm the devil and I'm going to hell, right? So listen. Hey, Miss Virginia, have any of y'all heard that tomorrow the 23rd is the rapture? Y'all, I cannot with this stuff. We're gonna listen to it. No, independent thinker. It's all over social media. Listen, hey Beverly, my sister called me today. She was like, Nene Pooh, did you hear? I was like, hear what? She was like, they're saying that the rapture is tomorrow. I said, the rapture. I said, you listening to that? She said, no, it's just that a lot of people been calling me and telling me about it. I'm like, girl, stop it. The rapture. Come on now. Are y'all serious? We got a actual unidentified flying object headed towards Mars, that scientists are trying not to say is a spaceship. And I'm not playing with y'all. This is all of the stuff that's going on in the world today. Then we got these crazy Christian nationalists over here want to kill people because they said something bad about, or not even said something bad about Charlie Kirk. They just didn't go along with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. So, girl, all over, all over that man, all over that man. They got priests from the Catholic Church going on Fox News talking about he was like the second coming, or he was like a Joseph or something like that. It's just so fucking weird, and I'm going to say it. This shit is weird as hell, and all of this shit is crazy to me. Absolutely mind-boggling, and it's all a distraction. All a distraction. Now, let me ask y'all a question. How many times has God come down and destroyed the earth? So they say. That's what the Bible says over and over again. God destroyed the earth and took all the men away. But even in the Bible, it says it was some giants left and it was some people left. Even after Noah, God was supposed to cleanse the earth of all man. But even after Noah, it was still people left, right? Still people left on earth. So this earth has gone through, because this earth is, scientists say this earth is billions of years old. The universe is billions of years old, and the universe is expanding. Why does expansion happen? For growth. So even the universe is growing. They done found black holes that lead to other universes with other earths, earth like with other suns and other planets and all that kind of stuff. You said the Most High. You better say it, Joyce. The Most High is the only one that knows when this planet, when this earth, when life is as we know it is going to end. But you got all of these weird ass people, and I'm going to say weird ass people. Let's listen to a little bit of it. You say those girl driven some people absolutely insane is right. I am like sitting here scratching my head like, why are these people, and I mean people are upset, they're frantic. It's people online selling their cars. It's people that sold their houses, all of their worldly possessions, and all of this weird ass, creepy ass stuff. Maybe I shouldn't be. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I speak the way I speak, and that's the way it's gonna be. Just because you use profanity doesn't mean that you're any less close to the Most High. We all on the same earth. You about as far away from the Most High as I am, so that's all I can say. But listen to this, y'all. This is what blows me. She's like, you can't independent. You can't. Hey, Joker. JJ, that picture of you and your because I before I logged on, I went down my timeline, a picture of you and your wife, and congratulations on your marriage too. Picture of you and your wife is so beautiful. Y'all look so happy together, JJ. I'm happy for you. So let me play a little bit of this because y'all got to hear this before we get into our topic, because I don't know if y'all I'm sure y'all know because I think everybody pretty much knows, but I've never talked about this before. A couple of years ago, I was going to buy a Tesla. I talked about it in one of my live streams, talked about the ordering process. And, I think I talked about a little bit of everything that I wanted in it. So before um, they started making my car, I was telling my friend, he was saying, "You gonna buy a Tesla?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy a Tesla." He was like, "Have you researched, like really, really researched Elon and the company?" Hey, Shadow. Hey, y'all. Hey, Spencer. I said, I haven't researched it to any like great extent. I just wanted to do something that was better for the planet, and get an electric vehicle. He was like, maybe you ought to look someplace else because I don't know if you want to get a Tesla. He said it might not even be a good thing to own a Tesla in a few years. I said, are you serious? Why? And sure enough, here we are today, right? So, what I was what I wanted to talk about was my title, right? So I don't know if you guys know that, and that's no, I'm not digging at anybody. It could be people in this chat that have Teslas. I'm not digging at Elon or the Teslas or anything like that. You drive what you want to drive, you make the decisions that you want to make. Anything that I say is based on my own personal opinion about how I feel. Just like I don't feel as though I can control how anybody else thinks or feels about the world of today, the planet, space, and all of the weird stuff that's going on in the sky. The fact that it's actually a doggone UFO that's been videotaped on camera, and none of the government can tell us what the fuck that thing was, with the three little ships flying behind it. All of the weird shit that is happening is mind blowing to me right now, and how it's all happening at the same time. But it's not surprising. You know why? Because, hey, boy, stop capping. You know why? The reason it's not surprising to me is because it is biblical. And we do have the Antichrist in the White House. And we do have an Antichrist running the government, and the Antichrist is running the government all over the world, pretty much. All over the world. Netanyahu is not a good guy. Trump is not a good guy. Kim Jong-un is not a good guy. Uh the Vladimir Putin is not a good guy. All of the people in power, North Korea, they're not good people. Like, we have all of these people in power that are actually getting ready to take us into what I fear most is World War III. Everybody's sitting around here talking about, oh my God, God is coming back for the rapture. And no, man is going to destroy this earth. Just like man has destroyed this earth in the past. Man, hey, KW12, man is going to destroy this earth or parts of this earth again with weaponry, with weapons. All of this crazy ass Oh, it's the end of the world. It's not the end. It might be the end of the world as you know it. End of what you view as peace. That's what's about to happen. That's what and that's all of these distractions and all of this mess and y'all, it's so much I want to talk about. But I want y'all to hear a little bit of this lunacy. And I started talking about Elon Musk is because Elon Musk, they say, is the richest man in the world. He's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. There's no reason for any one person to be that wealthy. That's demonic in itself. That's evil in itself for any one person to have so much wealth and so much power at the in the palm of their hands, and people aren't understanding. It is not that how do I say this? That orange clown that is sitting in that golden crusted ass White House, making it look as stupid as all get out, looking like he got some Dollar Tree goddamn gold ass stickers pasted all over, and probably paid millions, hundreds of thousands, or millions of dollars for that bullshit. Taxpayers probably paying for that shit. That orange ass clown is not running this country. I don't know what y'all, he's robbing this country, but he's not running it. People like Elon Musk and the people around him are the ones that are running it. And y'all don't even understand. Don't so busy focused on everything else, things that can't help you at all, while you're ignoring the fact that you might be a slave again one day. And the reason I say that, my daughter asked me a couple of weeks ago, she was like, "Ma, do you ever think that we'll be slaves again?" I said, "Not in the way that we were before, not in that way." And she was like, "What do you mean not in that way? I'll never be a slave again." I said, in essence, you're kind of a slave right now. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Bitch, I ain't no fucking slave. I ain't picking no cotton. I ain't doing this." No, but you're using what they call, and I'm one too, because I use it too. You're being distracted from the very things that can heal you and help you grow, that can get you to that higher place where you can actually see what's coming before you, what's being placed before you, because all the signs are here. You just have to know how to read them, right? So my daughter was saying, she was like, "Well, why do you say that we might be slaves one day again?" I said, "Through technology." And she was like, "Well, no, because then all you have to do is just turn your computer off." Well, there's so many people already addicted to technology already. You can't live without your phone. A lot of people can't live without picking their phone up every 5 minutes, or they want to be online scrolling and seeing what's going on, what everybody else is concerned in, all of these trends and everything you got to follow. You got to do everybody is moving like drones anyway when it comes to, hey, Philiette, when it comes to technology. We're all moving like drones. We're all hypnotized by technology. Oh, I got to pick up my phone. I got to see who, oh, is the beef sector talking about me? Or somebody, or am I being doxxed today? Everybody is moving at the behest of somebody else. Somebody else is controlling your thoughts already. Somebody else is harnessing your brain and its energy for themselves. Somebody else is doing that. Well, why are you so focused on that? Because of the chips that they are placing in people's brains now. Now, y'all might say, "Okay, well, you done really lost it. You're crazy now. You done flipped from talking shit about bitches and then, like, now you talking shit about motherfuckers putting chips in your brain." Well. Has anybody heard of a company called Neuralink? Has anyone heard of a company called Neuralink? I'm going to wait to see if one person in this, don't Google it though. I just want to know offhand, have any of y'all in this chat heard of a company called Neuralink? If you haven't, it's owned. It was actually created by Elon Musk, the, so they say, richest man in the world. Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, they've been microchipping folks for years now. Now, Samantha, I just love me some Samantha. Come on, girl. Come on now. So they've been microchipping folks for years now. But before, they were saying that they're microchipping. So if you're blind, you might, or if you can't hear, you might be able to hear. If you have partial blindness, it'll help you to see. If you're paralyzed, it'll help you work technology and help you read or help you talk and communicate with, speaking people. If you can't walk, some of these chips are supposed to help you start talking. Do you know they done had monkeys playing games with their minds and pigs running computer programs just with their minds, right? Well, Elon Musk created this company called Neuralink, right? Where he puts these probes inside your brain, right? And he puts all of these little probes inside your brain. They can get into the neurons in your brain waves and stuff. And it can, and these little probes and this chip, it reads your thoughts and it helps you communicate with computers. Well, Elon Musk has been very, very open about um did I say hey Mika, hey Joyce? He's been very, very open about creating a group of superhumans, okay? Superhumans. Are y'all listening? And it's happening. I don't know. So everybody's so worried about, oh, God and the rapture and the devil. And black folks is out here saying that you can't, what are they saying? That I'm just gonna say it. Coons, like somebody I was doing commentary on a few weeks ago, a pastor, an internet pastor, she said, "You are idolizing your skin." Mm-hmm. She said black people that speak up against what's happening right now and talk about what they see, and if it's not about the Bible and if it's not about God and if you make it about your skin, you're idolizing your skin. Your skin has become an idolatry, and that is sinful, and you are going to hell, black people, if you focus on the color of your skin and you don't focus on God. Well, for 400 years, ma'am and sirs, and all of the Christians that are joining with Donald Trump in the Christian nationalist movement that they have going on to enslave us again, just in a different way. If you're not, hey Cynthia, if you're not paying attention to what is actually going on and you're not paying attention to the patterns and how we've been here before, if you're not paying attention to the rhetoric, the fact that these people are talking just like Hitler, they're using Hitler's words, they're using separatist words, they're using the words of the colonizer, but you're telling us we don't have a right to say anything because they're saying they're doing it on behalf of God. Since when did Trump become a damn Christian? He doesn't even know how to pronounce the books of the Bible. He doesn't know anything about God, like nothing. How can you say that this man and the people that worship him, because to me, the people that worship and follow Trump are idealizing him, calling him God. They called this young man that just got killed, they said he was the second coming of Jesus. They said that I didn't hear none of these Christians out here, these black Christians out here that say today that they believe in God and that they right. I didn't hear none of them come out here and say, oh, hell no. Ain't no way. No way. Charlie was not Jesus. They was silent about that. Just silent, but so eager to tear each other down with the words. So eager. So eager. It all started with, you know what? And the other thing is this. The other thing is, because we're gonna listen to some stuff about the chip. So in my title, I said, are we going to be slaves again? Are we going to be a slave chip? I didn't make a mistake. A slave chip called Jesus, right? So when you think about it, how would Western society or companies, because Elon Musk company is not the only company that's making this chip, how would they enslave us again, right? Forced chipping. You could force somebody. A judge could come in and say, yeah, we're gonna chip that person. You broke the law. You talked against the government. You did a crime. You didn't pay your taxes. You did this. You did that. You get a chip. Or we think you did something. You get a chip. Or guess what? It could be like the Tuskegee experiment or something like that. You could go in for a minor surgery or something that requires you be sedated, or even a local anesthetic, and they could put a chip in your damn body, in your head. What if you get a replacement, like a joint replacement or something? What if it's chipped and you don't even know it? The technology that they're doing right now, when y'all listen to this and you think about, there are so many ways that we can be controlled by technology. And you see right now, we're all willing to tear each other down and all be separate, all hate each other. And we have all of this information at the palm of our hands. And we got social media right here as a huge distraction. That's how my son died. Distraction. It's called social distraction. Hey, CMA. It's called social distraction. When you caring about when you care about what's going on social media more than you care about your own life, or you care about what other people, strangers that you don't even know, have to say about you, more than you care about your own family or spending time with your own family, or you spend so much time on here scrolling and watching and commenting and doing all of this stuff. It's mind-blowing, and it's actually sad. It's sad. It's like they've corralled us again. Corralled us. It's going to be so easy this time. It ain't going to be no fighting, because they're going to promise you chips that will give you superhuman strength. They're going to promise you chips that'll make you smarter than anybody else. They're going to promise you a chip that's going to take the sadness away or the pain away. Hey, Joy, they're going to promise you a chip in your brain. And listen, they got marketing strategies too. I'm not lying to y'all. Y'all about to hear it. Y'all about to hear the whole thing. But the rapture, I want y'all to hear that that's a true thing, that people are really, really worried about the rapture first before we go on to Elon Musk. Now listen to this.
The rapture will happen on September 23rd and the 24th, one of those 2 days. The people who love Jesus, who can't wait for him to come and get him, and for the people who have been making themselves ready to meet, preparing themselves to meet the Lord, their God, they are about to meet their King. They are about to meet their Savior, their Lord. But for you, mocker and scoffer, I am concerned for you.
Don't be concerned for me.
You, in your pride, will not even ask God if this is from him. Because I promise you, if you did, you would see it is from him. And then have the audacity to call yourself a Christian. Woe to you, hypocrites.
Now listen, I might fuck around and find out and be here on the 24th, and everybody, my mama be gone, everybody be gone. I'll be running around looking for them. I told them, I'm like, put in a good word for me in that rapture thing. That rapture thing. This is all over social media. The rapture.
Repent. Wake up. Wake up. Repent and see what is going on. You have the audacity to call yourself a Christian and then go against and smite your fellow brethren. I give you 1,000,000,000% certain.
When it comes to this Christian stuff, let me just say that everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner. And that's the truth. A lot of people out here, they scream Christian, Christian, Christian because they think that it gives them that credibility, you know what I'm saying? But then they're behind the scenes working as you know, authors of iniquity.
Because these words are not mine. They are from Almighty God. The rapture will take place on September 23rd and the 24th. You have a choice. Are you going to repent?
The doctors, girl.
Or are you going to be left behind? Luke 21:36. Watch and pray always that you are accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man.
But see what they're not telling you? See, this is the thing that pisses me off about people who prophesy from the Bible, right? This is what pisses me off, because the Bible was written for the times that it was written for. It was written hundreds of years, started being written hundreds of years after everything that they said was supposed to happen, because Jesus promised his own disciples that these things would come to pass during their lifetime. Here we are a couple of thousand years later, and it still hasn't happened. And ask yourself this, please, everyone. Hey, Lillian, ask yourself this. Why is it, if we have the truth about everything and the people that propagated the Bible, the Catholic Church from the beginning, the Roman Empire and the Catholic Church, ask yourself this question. Why are any of us still here? If Jesus promised this to his disciples during their lifetime, why are any of us still here? Also ask yourself, and ask the Catholic Church this, why haven't they opened up the Vatican for scholars and educators to read the books that they've been hiding from man for thousands of years? Ask them that. Ask them why they have miles and miles of spiritual doctrine, books, scrolls and everything that are biblical and related to the history of mankind in the Vatican. Miles. They said it's like 52 miles under the Vatican of just books and scrolls and information that they are hiding from the public. Why is that? Why? Let's listen. All of this crazy fear, it's just fear-mongering. That's all it is. Hey, Supreme.
You have a choice. And you do not want to be left behind for the 7-year tribulation. But that choice is up to you. God bless you and shalom.
7-year tribulation.
Guys, I'm saying goodbye to my car.
Listen to this man. This next man. Now, these are all little clips and stuff that come off of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And it's thousands of people waiting on the rapture tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day.
I've had for 5 years. They're taking it. No, this is my baby, man. This has been my baby for years. 5 years. But she's gonna go. I won't need her beyond September because I'm going home to where my Father in heaven is.
6 floors.
Nice car, isn't she?
Mika, you better say it.
Some scratches around it, but for the most part, she's nice. But she's mine no more. Someone else is gonna get her. I'm catching a flight to heaven in September.
Hundreds of thousands of books, scrolls, artifacts hidden from the public in the Vatican. Why? Because they want to control religion. They want to control ideology. They want to have you in fear, just like they had them nuns in fear and the monks in fear, and just like they be having them monks that where they had a monk where they bring the little girls in. This is the crazy thing about the Catholic Church, how they bring the little girls in as little girls and start training them to be nuns, and then they married God, and when they marry God, they're in white, and they put on their wedding dresses and all of this stuff. Then they change and then when they put on the black I can't even I don't even want to misquote the name because I don't want to be disrespectful, but when they changed the hood to the black hood, they married the church. Thus they marry the priest, and then the priest is allowed to lay with them. Are you kidding me? And this is ritual, and it's a pattern, and all of the things and it's been happening that way for years. And then you have all of these people that come out and talk about how they've had to give up their life savings. And in these religions, you can buy your way into heaven. Buy your way into heaven when Jesus himself said, I am not in the houses of stone. God is not there. Those are buildings. You shouldn't be in them. They're about the money. When you got all of these millionaires and billionaires out here telling you that they're Christian and you're beneath them, taking away all of your rights that I don't care what black person out here says that, oh, you're idealizing your black. Our ancestors fought and died for the freedoms that this orange motherfucker is taking away every damn day. And we sitting around acting like, oh, it's not a big thing and we shouldn't say anything about it, or we shouldn't, or we couldn't because they're Christian. We can't talk about it because now they're using the word of the Bible. They did it before. They drove a wedge between us and other nations too. We're not the only people that they did it. And I'm talking about money. I'm talking about colonizers, because it's not only white faces that did it. I'm talking about colonization, devastation, and tearing people apart. And that's what's happening in this country all over again. How dare people say that we can't talk about being black because it's not about being black. It's about being Christian. Christianity enslaved nations. Are you okay? If you don't follow like Christianity, the misuse, and I'm not saying real Christianity, like God's consciousness, I mean, Jesus, the Christ consciousness kind of Christianity. I'm talking about Christianity, religion, enslaved nations, and it's still doing it. Shoot. Listen to these crazies.
Oh, I need the car.
Roar. This is a message for an extraterrestrial. Listen, on the 23rd, a bunch of Christians think that the rapture is going to happen, and you have the unique opportunity to do something fucking hilarious that day. So
the rapture is happening in 6 days. What are we going to do, guys? Are we ready? September 23rd has been a date thrown around for months now by Christians who claim to know the exact day that Jesus is coming back. So we know that's not going to happen. We know that September 23rd is a date thrown out by man, and only God knows the day. But here's my question for you. Hearing the 23rd, the September 23rd date, has made a lot of people freak out, a lot of people trying to get closer to Jesus last second. But let me ask you, why? Why because of that date? Why? Because somebody threw a date out. Is that the reason you're pursuing Jesus? Because that may be the reason you won't actually make it with Jesus. We don't follow Jesus so we don't go to hell. We follow Jesus because we love him. We want to be with him forever. And we just...
Exactly. And that's the other thing. That's what blows my mind about the way that these people are using Christianity now. It's all about, oh, you're going to go to hell if you talk bad about this person. Oh, you're not God. None of you people that are being talked bad about, or that somebody is saying you're not God. You don't get to make the damn decision. You don't get to tell people that they're going to heaven or hell. God don't talk to you about me unless God talking to me about me. I cannot stand that. I was listening to this lady and she was saying, well, if you are a Democrat, you are all Democrats are going to hell. Well, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not an independent. I vote for what I believe is going to help me and help my family or whatever locally, and when I vote locally, I'm going to vote for whatever millage I believe is going to help my kids, or whatever candidate I believe is going to help my family progress, right? Or have a better life. Well, here these people are saying that, no, you got to believe the way that we believe. And they don't even know the damn Bible. You got to believe the way that we believe. You got to be on Donald Trump's side, or you're going to hell. You got to be on the devil's side, or you're going to hell. You have to be on somebody that's willing to dox everybody and put all of their personal information out, that wants the people that are coming, that are not even coming against him physically, that are just speaking against his policies. He wants them executed. Public executions need to come back for people. And this man has the nerve to hold a Bible in his hand, hold it up in the air while he's saying these things, and rest on God. And they got pictures floating around with him with topless little girls with a jizzle stain in the middle of his pants. This man then been charged with rape. He's a thief, a tax evader, a colonizer, a billionaire. This man was damn near broke before he stole that first election. And when he definitely stole the second one, he was damn near broke. Now he's a billionaire. And his children are billionaires now. And we supposed to sit up and just watch this stuff and be quiet about it. Just quiet. Quiet little lambs just led to slaughter. Put us in the chute, and just lead us all to slaughter. Little sheep. Bah. No. No. Not you or your brain tampering with friends either. Because we know what's coming. Y'all gonna be trying to put chips in all of our brains.
Desire a relationship with him. If you have responded to these theories of September 23rd with fear, with, oh my, I need to find Jesus now, then you need to examine your heart.
This
because
shit
we
is
don't
crazy.
just randomly do it on a day that we fear he's coming back. We do it now. We do it today. We do it because we choose him today, not so we don't go to hell.
Right. You don't weaponize God as a weapon not to go to hell. You don't, okay, I'm gonna get saved, or I'm gonna find God, or I'm gonna go to Jesus now because the rapture is coming. You fall in love with Christ. That's a whole experience. Like, you fall in love with the Most High, and it's throughout your total existence. You're not thinking like you were. You're not moving like you were. You are totally different. And the world can see it. Don't nobody have to talk you into nothing, because it's in you. You can't fool God. None of y'all can fool God. God sees everything that y'all doing. Everything. This is sad.
Examine your heart right now, because Jesus could come back at any moment, at the end of this video maybe. We need to be ready at all times, not just by a date that man throws out of context.
When you finally start moving up into the air, I recommend that you don't hold on to anything.
Listen.
I definitely don't recommend looking down. I think we learned that lesson from Lot's wife.
So that's real. And Rapture 2025 has taken over my For You page. And I thought people were kidding, but no, there is a large group of people who believe that the rapture is happening on the 23rd. The woman in that first video is giving rapture tips. So don't look down. Just embrace it. But there are some other videos, and you guys have to see them, because I cannot believe that these are real videos. Now, the woman in the next video is very concerned about everybody who is going to be left behind. So she created an instruction manual for everybody. That way they
can you believe this? Can y'all believe this shit? People are creating instruction videos to tell you how to survive the fucking rapture. Are you serious? Come on now.
know what is going on.
It's just like a little flow chart.
This one goes over what is happening, what they can expect, and then also like prepping.
Similarly, this woman made a video for people to watch. That way they can understand what actually happened. And she wants us to know that it wasn't aliens.
Are you seeing this video and wondering where all the people went? The people who disappeared or appeared to be unalived in a great mass are not abducted by aliens.
Now, next up, we have a man who has sold his car because he knows that he is no longer going to need it because he is about to be raptured. So he posted a video of his car getting towed away because he does not have a use for it anymore.
But she's gonna go. I won't need her beyond September because I'm going home.
And that one actually made me really sad because there are people out there who truly believe this to the core of their being, that they are no longer going to need their possessions after September 23rd, because some of these people have been listening to online Christian personalities or their pastors telling them that the rapture is coming, and they are making life-altering decisions based on these predictions.
Let me say this. Y'all got to stop listening to people online. Even me, like, do your own research. Do your own research and study this. And I mean, everything, even the stuff about the chips in your brain and all of that stuff. Like, don't take anybody else's word for, like, especially if you can't see the fruit from their life. And money doesn't mean fruit. That's, to me, that's the furthest way. That doesn't show that you saved at all. Having money is not a sign of you being closer to Christ. Christ detested that. Like, that's not a part of the Christ consciousness. The fact that you're a multimillionaire and his kids starving all over the world, not only in the United States, in Africa, India, every country on the damn continent probably more than likely has somebody that's starving. You understand what I'm saying? But you sitting here and you bragging because you multimillionaires or you rich or you got this or you got that, and you talking down. How do y'all know what blows me? Is people who will sit up and say they're Christian, but they'll sit up and talk about somebody else's finances, or you're poor and you're broke, or you don't have a home of your own, and yada, yada, yada. Well, do you have something, Christian? You got something to help somebody out? Isn't that the spirit of the Lord? Isn't where the spirit of the Lord is, there's supposed to be liberty, right? That's all I'm saying. Shoot. This right here is just crazy work. I'm telling you. We getting ready to get off of the rapture, though, and we getting ready to get into how you're going to become a slave, how you're going to become a cyborg. They won't need to lock you up in prison anymore. Prisons are going to become obsolete. They're just going to chip your damn brain. And anytime you think that you're getting up to do anything of your free will, they're going to zap your ass and sit your ass right back down and make you watch YouTube and beef with motherfuckers. They gonna zap your ass and make you sit your ass down and go on YouTube and just dox people or come after their families and shit. That's what they gonna do, because that's where they like you, at your dumbest point in life. And I'm speaking from experience. Shit, that's where they like you.
And lastly, I have seen a lot of sign-off videos of people letting us know that this is going to be their last video.
This is probably going to be my last video. This morning I woke up and I heard, "Have a nice flight."
I do not know how I ended up on this side of TikTok, but it is insanity, and I'm curious if you guys are seeing these videos.
Happy Saturday evening. It's about 20 minutes after 10 West Coast time. Boy, howdy. I went down a rabbit hole on TikTok.
Right,
I got
Samantha,
onto
it never
the
left.
impending rapture side of TikTok. Apparently, the rapture is going to happen in 3 days on Tuesday, September 23rd. People are selling their things. I've seen videos from people who are selling their cars. They won't need them anymore. I'm not sure why you're selling it. You're not going to need the money from the sale unless you plan on spending that money in the next 3 days. People are selling their stuff. They're getting their houses in order. They're leaving things for people who don't get raptured.
Yeah, this one lady, I was watching this one lady's video early this morning, y'all. She gave all of her worldly possessions away. She gave a lot of stuff to the church. She gave some stuff to her family. she was she didn't, I don't know if she owned her house or anything, but you just saw people coming in her stuff, just moving stuff out of her house, like, and saying thank you. I know they was laughing at her like, girl, ain't gonna be no rapture but tomorrow, but I'm gonna have your shit tomorrow. I'm gonna have your 57 or 58-inch color television in my bedroom, and I'm gonna have your jewelry. I'm gonna have everything that you gave me, and you no take backs now. You can't. When you left here tomorrow without all of your shit, sleeping on your floor, and no rapture has happened, what you gonna feel like tomorrow? This stuff is absolutely mind-boggling. It really, really is.
It's crazy. I saw a video from a woman giving like practical rapture tips. Like when you get raptured and you start going up, she was like, don't hold on to anything and don't look down. Just look up and just go and be free and don't hold on to anything. But then I started thinking, you know, Christians and evangelical Christians in the United States, like what could we do as a nation without them? What could we accomplish as a country without evangelical Christians in the United States anymore? We could have healthcare for everybody.
Ooh!
We could fully restore and protect abortion rights.
Say it.
We could make all medical debt dischargeable in bankruptcy.
Say it.
We could have actual gun reform. We could end homelessness, because all these people that are getting raptured, their houses are going to be empty. So homeless people will be able to take their pick and move into a house. And presumably there'll be a couple of cars left behind as well.
Bye.
You know, so you could just do that on like a first come.
Yeah, I'll say bye. Go on, y'all. Go on up to the rapture. Go.
First served basis. We could undo literally every single thing that Donald Trump has done in the last 9 months. We could outlaw AIPAC and the Heritage Foundation and Fox News. I'm kind of kidding about the Fox News thing. We could demilitarize the police nationwide.
Yes, we could do all of that.
We could tax the shit out of rich people and corporations.
All of us.
We could tax
all of us who are Christian or non-Christian or Muslim or anybody who doesn't get sucked up in the rapture. We can get rid of organized religion that separates and divides and tries to make people feel like they are less than because they don't believe exactly the same way that you believe. We could fix this Mickey Ficky. We could fix what the Catholic Church and the writers of these books and all of these kings and presidents and rulers and everybody that use those words to oppress people. We can fix what they effed up. Come on, rapture. Take them on up there, wherever they're going.
Any remaining churches of whatever kind. We could actually do climate change policy. We could bring back DEI and critical race theory. Hell, we could teach critical race theory in kindergarten.
Yes.
We could stop as a nation demonizing the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
And trans people.
Come
and
on.
Immigrants and women and disabled and black and brown people.
Come on.
And we could prosecute any Republicans who are left behind for the things they've done during the Trump administration. Legalize marijuana nationwide. Make student loans dischargeable in bankruptcy again. We could have socialized college for people. And we could finally release the Epstein files.
Yes!
Because all of the evangelical Christians who are on the list are going to be gone.
Yes!
So that's just a quick list that I came up with.
All you weird ass baby touching Christians would be gone. All of you. All of you. I agree with him.
Top of my head. If you guys have any other ideas, about the things that we could accomplish as a
Yeah,
nation
free medical
if
for
we no
everybody.
longer had evangelical Republicans living in the United States. We could finally achieve some truly great things, I think.
Are y'all also on the side of TikTok where Christians think the rapture is happening on the 23rd of this month because the Israeli government's sacrificing a bunch of red heifers and then going onto the mountain blowing trumpets, which signals the end times?
I told you guys that every day I'm doing something.
The Israeli government have gone on to mountains, blowing trumpets, doing sacrificial things, blood sacrifices for the Lord, while they're committing genocide. Genocide. They're threatening people with the rapture in Israel because they know that they're going to be the ones to kill them. Nobody going to heaven. You killing everybody. You starving them to death. How dare you, Israel? How dare you? Keep listening, y'all. This is crazy.
To prep my home for whoever's here after the rapture. So let me show you what I did today.
Now let me say this. Why all these Christians think that they did enough good works on the planet to end up going up in the air on the rapture? What's gonna be funny is if some of the people that's doing all of this cussing like me or somebody else, they end up going to the rapture because they're not weaponizing God. They're not using God to try to tear somebody else down, to sit in judgment, thinking that they're better. What if it flips on y'all asses? And you the only ones that's here, and everybody else that did not weaponize God, that did not try to use God's name to try to tear somebody else down, all of the other people, they get to go to heaven. Because isn't that where y'all say y'all going in the rapture? Crazy. What's gonna happen when you still here?
So it's just like a little flow chart. These are things like based on, you can't really see, but based on the, versus.
When I'm done with this live, I'm going to share this video out on my community. Well, actually, I'm going to share it out now so y'all can watch it, because this lady, I stopped it at the 15 minute and 15 second mark. Y'all can go on and y'all can see that some of these people, I played this video because this content creator put everything in one video instead of playing all of those different clips and stuff from people on TikTok and the people responding from Facebook and Twitter. And it was so many people talking about the rapture. So many people talking about it. So I'm going to share this video out so y'all can see that people actually literally wrote plans and books and methods of transition and all of this stuff. This is real for them. It's absolutely real. But what they're ignoring for something that's not really real, something that's not reality, because the rapture is not reality. It's not about to happen, y'all. It's just not. Sorry. And that's not being arrogant or anything like that. And I'm not saying that it may not be a rapture one day. Hell, I don't know. I just know it ain't happening tomorrow. But what is happening is your rights being taken away. And a lot of people think that, oh, it's just minorities. No. This is about constitutionally protected, where we thought these things were protected. It's all an illusion. First of all, the First Amendment was never written with Black people or brown people or any minority in mind. It was written with wealthy people in mind. And I mean that for poor white people too, or white people that fall outside of a certain financial demographic. It doesn't apply to you either. It only applies to wealth. This nation is built on a fear of God, financial wealth, and hatred. That's all it's built on. Those three things: a fear of God, which you shouldn't be fearing. You should be loving. You should be appreciative towards the Most High. You shouldn't be weaponizing it. This nation is built on racism, money, and a fear of what you should be loving. That's what it's built on. So I'm gonna share this video out on my community wall. For those of you who can see it, share it out. Those of you who can't, those of you who can see it and share it out on your community wall, try to do that for me. I'll share it on my other channel too, but it's at the 15-minute and 15-second mark where the lady starts telling you how to survive the rapture, and she has all of this stuff written out as to what you're supposed to do. You can watch it from there, but we getting ready to talk about Elon Musk for a minute, because I said I want to just be here. Bambi! Bam! I did not get a chance to watch your live yet. I'm gonna watch it though. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna share it out too. I did not get a chance to watch it yet, but now if anybody wants to hit the link and come up here and talk about what we're getting ready to talk about, I know the religious stuff, a lot of people don't want to talk about that. You know, it is a touchy subject, and I am very, very vocal about it these days. And I have honestly been vocal about it since my son passed away, and all of these things that have been happening. I just felt it in my mind that I have to talk about this. And it's really because I'm seeing what's happening like globally. Y'all, please pay attention to this though. Pay attention to what's happening in technology and science, and please pay attention to damn NASA. Please pay attention to what's happening in space. Now, do y'all remember when Donald Trump had his his first term in office, where he was he had a whole SpaceX space police force that he was supposed to be getting into play? Y'all let me know. Do y'all remember that? When Donald Trump had space force, it was Space Force, where they were the government had this whole space police. Now NASA just sent out a threat to the whatever the craft is that's flying towards Mars. And I know y'all probably thinking like, why are we talking about alien life forces, and why are we talking about all of this? All of this stuff is going to come into play if you pay very, very close attention to what's happening in this country and in this world. And if you think it's not real, just give it a little bit of time. Just give it a little bit of time. So, yeah, Space Force. Okay, Mika. You said before you got, girl, before you got you got your driverless car last night? Joy, are you going to post a video of it? Is it from Tesla? No, you do. No, you got into one of those driverless cars. You got into that driverless car last night. I think the driverless cars are cool technology. I don't fear the technology. I just fear the misuse of the technology, you know? Okay, so you drove in one. So that's the other thing that Musk is doing. You know, they got all of these driverless taxis. He's not the only company that's doing it now, though. But they got all these driverless cars and stuff. He's building all of these tunnels underground. It's just a whole lot going on, a whole lot of distraction, and they don't want us paying attention. Anybody, and I got to say this, any Black folks, this is for Black folks. White people, Asian people, Hispanic people, other people, don't take this personally. If any Black folks are out here that actually trust the federal government, you need to go see somebody. If you trust that the federal government is going to do no, let me just take that away. Not even Black folks. X that out. Let's take race out of it. Let's just be real about it. Any poor folks, folks that fall under a certain, financial demographic or tax range, if you fall under that and you trust the federal government, you need your head checked for real. You need your head checked for real. Because, baby, they damn sure don't have your best interest at heart. And anybody who thinks that, okay, because I'm black, I need to be a Democrat. No, you need to do your research. Democrats is stealing too. They playing the system too. Do your research. So, let me see. Did I share this yet? Hold on. Okay, I shared the live out that I did the reaction on. You did a very short video. I'm going to watch it, Joy. I'm going to watch it. So let's listen to this, y'all. I want to play this for y'all. I want y'all to hear this, okay? Okay, let's play this. And we're going to go back and I'm going to go to my Elon Musk playlist. And I want y'all to listen to this.
This morning, what could be a game changer for people living with severe physical disabilities. Elon Musk revealing a second patient has been implanted with Neuralink, an experimental brain-computer interface that allows patients to control technology with their mind. Musk is a co-founder of the startup.
I don't want to jinx it, but it seems to have gone extremely well with the second implant. So there's a lot of signal.
Well, this video is actually from a year ago, and Elon Musk has we don't know the total of brain implants that Musk or Neuralink has done thus far, but some say more than 50, some say less than 50, some say more than 10, some say less than 10. So the numbers vary, and it's a trial. So he doesn't have to say publicly how many implants that they've put in people's heads. And some of the implants have failed already, and then they're going in deeper. You guys are going to hear all about that in this live. But what you're going to find interesting is that Elon Musk intends for this to be mass marketed and at a low price for people to get these implants in their brains, whether it's anything wrong with them or not. Are y'all listening? You don't have to be paralyzed. His goal is to make this available to anyone in the future.
A lot of electrodes. It's working very well.
Not much is known about the second patient, including when they received the implant, but we do know they suffered a spinal cord injury, just like Nolan Arbaugh.
This is all from there to there. Yeah, man.
Arbaugh was the first Neuralink patient. He opened up to Good Morning America back in May.
I was just very happy that I would be a part of something that I believe is so monumental and this next step forward of helping people with paralysis.
Musk says he believes Neuralink will allow all humans, whether they have physical disabilities or not, to more efficiently interface with the digital world. And even
he said he believes that Neuralink, this chip in your damn brain, this device implanted in your brain, will help all human beings, whether they have a physical disability or not. Keep listening. Hell yeah, bam, this should scare everybody. Everybody at the possibilities of what they could do to you as a human being.
Compete with artificial intelligence.
If it's extremely safe, and you have and you can have superhuman abilities, I think probably a lot of people would choose to have it.
The news, only one of the major breakthroughs for people.
He said he wants you to be able to compete with artificial intelligence, and he says that you should have it. You should be able to buy it, just like a Tesla.
Facing mobility issues. Synchron, another company using brain implants to give disabled patients access to computers, recently released this video.
That's pretty cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so the video that they're playing, and I'm not gonna play the I'm on a different computer and it has a low space. So when I go in to play it, it's gonna buffer. But I want to it's other companies that have this technology. But what's so interesting is that Elon Musk's company is the first company, they say, that is going to market this to everyone. Most of the other companies are focused on people with impairments, visual, hearing, mobility issues, and things like that, who have like ALS and things that actually give you a disability. Elon Musk wants to create, he said it in an interview that I watched yesterday or day before yesterday. He said he wants to create a whole team of superhumans. Superhumans. Keep listening. Now, what would you say? Wouldn't you say that wouldn't you think that millionaires and their families would be able to take advantage of this technology and use it against us, even if the actual everyday public isn't able to afford it at this time? You better be damn sure that it's going to be the wealthy that's going to get it first, and they're going to use it to enslave the masses. Listen to this.
Elon Musk's Neuralink brain implant is pushing the boundaries of what modern neuroscience can achieve. I think that's something we can all agree on. But the company might also be pushing the boundaries of what is considered to be safe or even possible when it comes to brain-computer interface technology. Neuralink is in a vulnerable position right now as they begin to face the realities of human experimentation. And in the midst of all this, a new competitor is rising up. A ghost from Elon Musk's past has returned to take the throne with a better, safer brain implant. This could be a problem. Let's begin with a story. This is Benjamin Rappaport. You probably don't recognize.
Now, Benjamin Rappaport was actually one of the creators that he worked. Well, they're going to tell you the story, but he actually worked for Elon Musk in the past, and he started his own company that makes the chip more accessible, where you don't have to implant it in somebody's brain, baby. You could just lay it right on top of the brain tissue, and it gets the listen to this. This shit is mind-blowing. I shouldn't say mind-blowing because we're talking about chips in people's brains, but
him, but he was one of the 9 founding fathers of Neuralink back in the year 2017. Elon Musk says that he interviewed over 1,000 people before deciding on the team of 8 doctors, scientists, and engineers that would join him in the creation of a new brain implant technology. And looking at Ben's resume, it's easy to see why he made the cut. A master's degree in physics and mathematics from Harvard, a master of science from Oxford, a PhD in engineering from MIT, and a medical degree from Harvard Medical School. He was working as a resident neurosurgeon in the years before Neuralink came to be. So that is all very important to establish that this is not just another tech bro. This is a person who brings massive credibility to the table. So when we tell you that Benjamin left Neuralink in March 2018, just 1 year after the company was announced to the public, we know that this decision carries some weight. And the primary reason for Ben's...
Now listen, Benjamin, if you do anything, do this. If you are interested in this topic, please Google Benjamin Rappaport. Please read his story and how he believed. Well, I'm not going to say what he said about how he believed, but a lot of people kind of think that Elon Musk is like this mad scientist, but he's not a scientist. He just pays all of these scientists because he has the money, right? But He feels like this man is trying to create a world of cyborgs. And he's doing it for the wrong reason. Y'all, please Google that young man and follow this story, because this is getting ready to this right here.
His departure is also the key to today's story: safety. Without getting too deep into the weeds on how brain-computer interfaces work, we know that the brain is teeming with electrical activity. Everything that you do, everything you feel, everything that you know, it all begins with trillions of electrical signals bouncing around through billions of neurons inside the gray matter of the human brain. This has been known for 100 years. Hans Berger started his experiments with electroencephalography in 1924, but even after a century of observation, the human brain is still mysterious. We know that the best clues to solve our mystery are found closest to the source, inside the human skull. We can observe brain activity from the outside by placing electrodes on the scalp, but the signals are muffled. Imagine you're living in an apartment and your next-door neighbor is having a party. You can try to listen in through the wall, and that will provide some information about what's going on. You might know what kind of music they're listening to, the approximate size of the group, if they're laughing or arguing. Imagine that the people attending the party are neurons in a human brain. By observing them through a wall or a skull, you can measure the overall vibe of the party, but you will never know the details of what went on inside. But if you were able to walk through the door and enter the room, suddenly there would be infinitely more detail to learn about the party. You would hear the music clearly, you would see the people, you would know what they are saying. And once inside, you could go one step further and walk right up to a neuron and start a conversation. From here, there's no telling how much you can learn.
Now, what's so interesting about this is that once the chip is taken, or once the implant is taken out of your brain, all of the information stays with the implant, right? All of the information from your brain is held in the computer. The computer can actually read your thoughts. Are y'all listening to this? It can read your thoughts. And guess what? If programmed the right way, all of the things that I've been reading and researching about, it can change your thoughts too. It can make you happy. It can make you sad. It can make you love. It can make you hate. Pay close attention to this. This shit is so...
is all a metaphor for the invasiveness of BCI. But instead of opening a door, we have to cut through skin and bone, and in order to initiate that personal conversation with a neuron, we need to penetrate the brain matter. This all comes at a cost. We know that Elon Musk is a minimalist when it comes to design, but he's a maximalist when it comes to performance. The fastest cars, the most powerful rockets, and his approach to Neuralink is no different. Elon would never be satisfied with just eavesdropping on the party. He's going straight to interrogating the neurons as close up as possible.
Listen.
The cost of an invasive BCI implant is always going to be damage to the brain. There is no way to skirt around the fact that when you penetrate the brain tissue, you cause physical damage. The first invasive brain implant dates back to the early 2000s, the Utah Array, created by BlackRock Neuroscience. It's like a very small bed of nails that would penetrate the outer cortex of the brain with tiny rigid pins. The depth of the implant would typically be around 1.5 millimeters, and these implants are known to cause scar tissue and physical rejection from the brain material, so they can't be used as long-term permanent solutions. Once the scar tissue forms, the ability to have a conversation with the neuron is greatly reduced. This is the primary challenge that Neuralink was hoping to overcome with their own BCI design, one that used ultra-thin and ultra-flexible threads to interface with the brain tissue.
Well, it is mind control. And that's the fear that a lot of people have. They're saying that it is wonderful technology for someone who needs it for a disability, it's wonderful technology to help people, but they're afraid that these companies and might just go too far, and especially if it's, you know, a plan to control mankind. All you got to do is chip them, and then you control them. Put the chip in their brain, make them buy the chip like they buy the iPhone, you know, put it in their brain. Instead, you can put an iPhone in somebody's brain, tell them you could be smarter than your computer, or as smart as your computer by putting this computer chip into your head. And you can't take it out on your own. It has to be surgically removed. And if you tried to take it out on your own, you would probably die. You would most likely die.
Being that these microscopic threads would carry the electrode connections into the brain so gently that the body wouldn't even notice, and hence wouldn't try to reject the implant or form any scar tissue. And this theory could prove to be true, but so far it's proven to be ineffective at maintaining a stable connection to the brain. Neuralink patient 0, Noland Arbaugh, experienced the successful implantation of 64 Neuralink threads. These threads carried a total of 1,024 individual electrodes directly into his cerebral cortex, and this happened for the first time in late January 2024. By February, 85% of those threads had retracted from the brain. They fell out. And this is a problem that Neuralink may have been expecting. Several anonymous sources who claim to work at the company told Reuters that the thread retraction had been an issue with monkey and pig test subjects for years. This is unconfirmed reporting, but it wouldn't be surprising given the severity of the retraction issue with Nolan's implant. It would be weird for this to have happened for the first time so many years into the testing phase. What's even more troubling is that Nolan has said that he was never even informed on the possibility of thread retraction. He was completely taken by surprise when the problem occurred. Neuralink claims to have a solution, though, and this has been approved by the FDA, but it's not exactly an ideal fix, and this relates directly to Benjamin Rappaport's concerns with patient safety in this field. So, the original Utah array with the rigid little pins penetrated 1.5 millimeters deep into the brain. Neuralink took that even further with their flexible threads, reaching depths between 3 and 5 millimeters into Nolan's brain matter. But this was clearly not effective, so the new plan is to place the threads 8 millimeters deep into Neuralink's second human patient.
Wow.
For those with trouble visualizing what a millimeter is, 8 millimeters is just a bit less than 1/3 of an inch. So that's getting pretty deep. Neuralink started off at double the industry standard, and now they're already going to double that again, and double the depth means double the potential damage to the brain matter, double the potential for negative side effects.
Now, see, the people that entered this trial, it's a trial for the chip. So all of this is trial and error. So if some of the probes fell out of this man's head, and they said that Elon Musk wanted to make the probes that go into your head longer and all of this stuff. Well, the guy that worked for his company before found a better way to do it. So
now, this is still not nearly as deep as other current electrode procedures like deep brain stimulation, for example, but it's still very much unknown what kind of damage 64 insertions, each 8 millimeters deep across a relatively small segment of the brain, might do. It's also not known if this change will even solve the problem for Neuralink. If we are still seeing retraction with the threads in the next patient, then it's possible that Neuralink's design, as innovative as it may be, just doesn't work. This is obviously not the kind of outcome that a business leader like Elon Musk is going to accept, but in science there is always the potential of being proven wrong. It's the reason that we do experiments in the first place. There's a very real potential here that Neuralink is just another very good idea in theory that didn't work out in reality.
Well, guess what? Elon Musk has been moving so fast with his tests on his human trials, that he has gotten approved this year by the FDA. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Now, Elon Musk could not get his full approval while Biden was in office and the FDA was being governed by somebody else. Elon Musk recently, since the Trump administration, has gotten full clearance on everything that he's doing. From digging the tunnels up under the ground to the rocket launches that could be messing with our ozone to the Neuralink trials. He's gotten just a open, like, you go ahead and do it, bruh. Go ahead and do it. Do y'all think that Elon Musk paid Trump for those clearances? Do y'all think that Elon Musk chummied up to Trump and helped Trump win the election so his things could go forward? Y'all just let me know what you're thinking, because I know what I think, but I'm not trying to govern anybody else's thoughts. Not trying to be no Neuralink or nothing. Mighty funny. Then he's getting carte blanche, and it's a whole lot of people with chips in their heads now in less than a year. Yep. Hold up, let me get back to playing this.
There are no shortage of these failed ideas in history, and it's an outcome that we should be prepared for. What if you didn't need to penetrate the brain 8 millimeters, or 3 millimeters, or even 1 millimeter? What if you could get all of the information you need just by walking through the door of the party and going no further than that? This is the question that Benjamin Rapaport left Neuralink to investigate, and he may have already found the answer. This is the Layer 7 Corp.
Now, what's interesting about Benjamin Rapaport's company and the other companies that are competing against Elon Musk now is that they're not finding the federal funding that they were finding for safe options for this. That all of the funding and the help and the resources are going to Neuralink and Elon Musk's company right now. Do you guys think that that's his strategy also? Just wondering.
Interface. It's an ultra-thin film array that's only 1/5 the thickness of a human hair and covered with 1,024 tiny electrode sensors. It's designed to sit on top of your brain, where it can very effectively eavesdrop on all of the conversations that your neurons are having without ever having to cause any physical damage to your brain matter. Sounds like a pretty good deal. The Layer 7 was created by Precision Neuroscience, who you probably never heard of, but this is the company that was founded by Benjamin Rapaport after he left Neuralink. And this thin film array is the safer, less invasive BCI technology that he had envisioned back in 2018, one that Elon Musk would have considered to be inferior because it doesn't penetrate deep enough into the neurons. But in reality, the opposite has proven to be true. While Neuralink's total electrode count in human trials has dropped over time from 1,024 down to just 154, Precision has been pushing forward, starting with one cortical interface and then adding a second to the same patient for a total of 2,048 electrodes. That was last.
Now, I know all of the brain talk might be, but if you guys watch the video, I'm going to share the video out on my channel. It might be a little bit much to understand what it is they're talking about, but I promise y'all, if you just listen to it and watch the visual, you'll understand 100% what's being said here. But I think all of y'all we got some smart people over here, so we ain't got to worry about that. Let me see here. I just shared this video out. We're going to finish listening to it though.
Summer, and just recently, in April 2024, Precision set a new record with 4 interfaces implanted on one human brain for a total of 4,096 electrodes, all reading brain signals at the same time. The thin film array is designed to be implanted through a small slit that's cut into the patient's skull. Then the electrodes are slid in between the brain and its outer protective layer called the dura. The thin, flexible nature of the array allows it to conform perfectly to the wrinkled shape of the cerebral cortex, like saran wrap. and then a wireless transmitter is placed underneath the
Yeah,
user's skin
Samantha.
that plugs into the electrodes and broadcasts the neural signal wirelessly through Bluetooth. With such a small, thin cut into the skull, just 1 millimeter across, there can be multiple arrays placed on different regions of the brain without compromising the patient's skull integrity. You could have multiple Neuralinks, but the skull is pretty quickly going to start resembling Swiss cheese with all of those holes cut into it. Precision has already tested its Layer 7 cortical interface with 14 human patients over the past 3 years.
Okay, so Precision has tested 14 people. 14 people. That was a year ago. From what I read, I think it's over 100 now because theirs is less invasive and they're focusing on people. Their main focus and only focus right now is individuals with disabilities. I shared that one out, but I want y'all to hear this one. And then we're going to get out of here because we got, hold on one second.
Here's a question. Is artificial intelligence the next evolution in humanity, or is it the beginning of the end for civilization as we know it? Could go either way, right? And since no one really knows what the end game is here, we as humans kind of need to play both sides of the field. On the one hand, AI could be spectacularly useful for accelerating development in fields like technology and biology. As long as humans stay one step ahead of the computers, then we're on the fast track to a golden age. But what if the AI surpasses humans? Does that put the computer in the driver's seat and leave us riding shotgun? Moving forward with AI development is a big risk to take without having some kind of measure in place to mitigate it. And that's where Elon Musk's Neuralink comes in, a brain-computer interface device that could facilitate a kind of symbiosis between human and AI. If the idea holds true, then Elon could be setting us up for a world where it's not a case of us versus them, so much as a case of us and them combining together into something else entirely. But what would that be? Let's talk about it. The spectrum of ideas. On one end, you've got a figure like Mark Zuckerberg. He thinks that AI is fantastic and can only do good things. Zuckerberg has said, quote, "I think that AI is going to unlock a huge amount of positive things." Whether that's
Mystic, they volunteer themselves. Now, the people that are volunteering for the implants now are people who are quadriplegics, paraplegics, people who have medical conditions to where they can't walk or move or speak, or some people can't even swallow on their own. So to them, the opportunity of having some part of their brain be functional is a benefit. Now, Elon Musk's goal is to have a group of superhumans. He said it himself that he wants to sell it on the mass market and make it available to everyone for the price right now of about what, LASIK surgery or something, under $5,000. He wants to be able to implant these things into people's brains to make them superhumans. Now, I know for a fact, if motherfuckers out here will pay $5,000 for a bag, a plastic bag with L's and V's on it, they'll pay $5,000 to have a chip implanted in their brain to make them smarter than their computers and all of this kind of stuff. So people just need to pay closer attention to what's really happening.
That's helping to identify and cure diseases, to help cars drive more safely, to help keep our communities safe. And he makes a fair point. Those are objectively good things. On the other end, you've got someone like Stephen Hawking, who feared that AI would simply become the new dominant force of Earth. Hawking once said, quote, "The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded."
Now, listen. So Samantha said She said, I'm sure Rich already has it. So some people say that Elon Musk already has a chip in his brain. They say that some of the things that he does and some people think that he's a cyborg already. That's just what I've been reading and hearing and stuff. So you might be onto something, Samantha. You might just be onto something, honey.
Also, a fair point. Humans take our evolutionary advantage for granted. Somewhere in the middle, we have Elon Musk.
It is a double-edged
He's
sword.
infamously concerned about the future of artificial intelligence. He fears it, but at the same time, he embraces it. Tesla's work with autonomous vehicle technology is pushing the boundaries of real-world AI. It's true bleeding-edge development, and the company has so far put nearly 2 million robot cars with computer brains onto the streets of the world. And that's where Neuralink comes in. Elon's strangest company to date is a bridge between those two conflicting sides of his mind. Neuralink's de facto mission statement is, if you can't beat them, join them. And by them, they mean robots. And again, this is coming from the richest man in the world who got that status in large part by selling car-shaped robots. We've already talked at length about how a Neuralink implant works in previous videos, so let's just quickly sum it up in this one. They cut out a chunk of your skull, then they sew 1,000 hair-like probes into the outer layer of your brain, and then they attach those probes to a small device that has basically the same functionality as a smartwatch. The Fitbit goes into the hole left by your missing skull, and your skin gets folded back over and stitched up, leaving pretty much zero trace that you have now become a cyborg. No big deal. There are a whole range of medical applications that this device is going to be used for. We've also gone deep into that in previous videos that you can check out. In short, if every function of your brain is just the transmission of electrical signals, then an electronic device that's wired into your brain should be able to modify, repair, or enhance any and all of those functions. What we really want to get into here is how a brain-computer interface can truly integrate the computer into the brain, or the brain into the computer.
Yeah.
Elon has talked about artificial intelligence working as a third layer of functionality.
You said, what if the Neuralink malfunctions? Watch iRobot. Watch all of these sci-fi movies and shows, and you will understand the direction that this planet is going. This planet, not just the United States, this planet is going towards cyborg. I'm telling y'all, it is going in that direction. There's absolutely no way around it. And we got everybody out here so worried about all of these other things and so wrapped up in like non-educational aspects of life and all of this worthless BS here on social media that has that this stuff is going to affect the entire world. The entire world. Do y'all know that China has a flying car now that they're selling? Well, it's actually a human-sized drone, but they call it a flying car, and they're selling it for less than $5,000. Less than $5,000. Do you know that a man in Africa created a car that runs on solar energy? Solar doesn't need to be charged like the Teslas do. It is so much technology that's happening. It's blowing my mind. Blowing my mind.
In the human control center. The primary layer is your limbic system. This is kind of your base level behavioral instincts. Food, sex, fight or flight responses, caring for babies, all of those deep-seated behaviors that are universal among pretty much every living thing on the planet. Primal stuff. The secondary layer is your cerebral cortex. That's the wrinkly outer layer of your brain that kind of works like your CPU. Your consciousness, thought, emotion, reasoning language, and memory all originate in this gray matter. Your cortex is vastly more intelligent than your limbic system, but the two work in harmony together. Sometimes your limbic system overrides your conscious thought. Most times it's the other way around. The give and take keeps us alive and functional.
Yeah.
And then the third layer, or your tertiary layer, is the artificial intelligence. Elon thinks that there is room for optimism that this can all work out, given that the cortex is very intelligent, but the limbic system is not, yet they work together well. So perhaps there could be a tertiary layer where a digital superintelligence lies that would be vastly more intelligent than the cortex, but still able to coexist peacefully with the cortex and the limbic system. In theory, we'd be getting the best of both worlds through this integration. Artificial intelligence is vastly better at calculating than a human brain could ever be.
Listen.
It can crunch numbers and run scenarios on a higher level. But computers can't have feelings the way that humans do, and they don't understand the functions of the physical world. And that actually limits their usefulness in a lot of situations. There's a TED Talk where Janelle Shane gives some really fascinating examples of AI failing miserably to handle what should be very simple tasks, like naming a flavor of ice cream.
Now, what's so interesting about what he's about to say is that when you combine what the scientists have found is that when you combine these computer chips with the actual human brain, it actually makes the computer chip work better. It actually makes the chip work better. It educates the chip while putting its own memory into your brain and making your brain doesn't retain those things without the chip. I think I said that earlier. So you're actually making computers smarter, and that's the thing that worries a lot of these scientists, is that you're giving the actual computer, the thing that you created, actual access to your thoughts and to your brain while making the computer smarter, because the computer is going to take that information and multiply it. That's what they do. They multiply on it. So
study input 1,600 names of ice cream flavors into an algorithm and then asked it to generate new flavor names based on what it learned. But instead of picking anything that sounded like tasty food, the AI came up with names like pumpkin trash break, peanut butter slime, and strawberry cream disease. Those are undoubtedly names that could be given to ice cream, but no one would buy them because they don't sound very appetizing. And how do you explain the concept of appetizing to a computer? Is that even possible? How about instead of trying to explain a human concept to a machine, you were to give it a Bluetooth link to a neural implant that is wired into a human cortex? The machine could use your brain as a cross-reference to gauge a human response to an artificially generated idea. Like if it could send a data set into the brain and then measure the emotional response that comes back to it and then incorporate that human layer into its calculation. And on the human side, you wouldn't have to solve a complex mathematical equation based on formulas and rules committed to memory. Your brain could simply outsource the calculations to a computer that beams the answer back into the cortex instantly. Would we even need to learn anything if the encyclopedia of everything were connected to our brain via Bluetooth? What if doing a Google search became an internal function of your brain instead of a physical act of your body? Trippy. Elon's push with Neuralink is to facilitate that kind of two-way communication between brain and computer with a super high level of bandwidth and a super low barrier to entry. Getting a Neuralink installed should be as easy and affordable as laser eye surgery. Actually, it should in time become even more accessible, because LASIK surgery is only appealing to people who need glasses to see, but a Neuralink should appeal to everyone, And higher volume inevitably leads to lower prices. And the more people opt into Neuralink, the more our new collective digital consciousness grows. Because everyone with...
Listen to this, though. Listen, Sam, I didn't even think about that. Because doesn't his son suffer from Asperger's? Isn't Trump's youngest son, doesn't he suffer from Asperger's? You're probably right, Samantha. You're probably right. His son might be one of... Ooh, he might get a Neuralink. Lord.
Neuralink can now communicate with a kind of digital telepathy. That's a hard one to get around because obviously no one wants their thoughts to be broadcast out to the world. So it would have to be consensual. I like to think of it more like...
Listen, let's go back to what he just said because that was important. Listen to this part.
More people opt into Neuralink, the more our new collective digital consciousness grows.
He said we'll have a collective digital consciousness. That means that anybody with access to your chip would be able to read your thoughts. You would be able to have conversations with them without words. You would be able to have say your loved one is in Japan and you're in the United States. You would be able to have a conversation with your loved one without having to pick up your smartphone. All you have to do is tap into the app and boom, y'all can have a conversation. You'll be hearing their thoughts. They'll be hearing yours. That's what's so damn creepy about it, because who in the world, what about the hackers of the world? What about the hackers of the world? That means that somebody would be able to hack into your thoughts, hack into your life, your personal experiences, hack into your bedroom, into your shower while you're showering. See, they would be able to see your thoughts or see what you're seeing in the mirror. See your reflection in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth in the morning. That is, y'all said creepy in the chat. It is. It's definitely creepy.
Because everyone with a Neuralink can now communicate with telephonic communication. Telepathy. That's a hard one to get around because obviously no one wants their thoughts to be broadcast out to the world. So it would have to be consensual. I like to think of it more like AirDrop or Dropbox. You get to decide what ideas and thoughts you put into the shared folder, and only people with the right password or permissions get access to it. But on a grander scale,
I got to give you my code to my brain. Who you gonna give the code to your brain to? Would you want anybody on this planet? I wouldn't even want my own mother to be able to read my damn thoughts. So, especially when thoughts are uncontrollable sometimes. Like, who in the hell would want to give somebody else, anybody else on the planet, that level of access? Come on.
We would all have our brains logged into one singular network. That could be terrifying, like the Borg from Star Trek, but it also could be a spiritual experience. There's this idea that is widely adopted by people who take a lot of psychedelic drugs, that we already have a collective consciousness between human beings.
No, that's not an idea. That's a fact. We just have to tap into it without machinery, though. It's already given to us by the Most High. Like, this is technology is trying to do what we can do as man. Even Jesus said that. Even Jesus said that you can be one with God.
Unknowable connection that unites us even if we aren't actively aware of it. These people are obviously high as kites, but they might be onto something. We've learned in recent years that living things in nature share connections on higher levels. Take trees in a forest, for example. We now know that trees are actually linked together by a fungal network that runs under that ground and allows signals to be transmitted from tree to tree through mycelium threads.
Mycelium
The biggest
threads.
trouble with Neuralink is that this is a time-sensitive project. Elon is in a race against the
What movie did y'all see the mycelium threads in? All of the stuff that y'all watching, all of the stuff that we see on television comes from science, and it comes from our history in science. So what movie did y'all see the mycelium threads in? Okay. Yeah, I'm still live. I'm about to get off though in a little while because this is the end of this video. I'm gonna stop it at 2 hours.
Singularity to implement his technology. We pass the singularity at the point where digital superintelligence becomes real and vastly overtakes the human mind in every aspect of consciousness. That's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but we know that once we cross the singularity, things become very uncertain and unstable. That's the point at which AI starts to pose an existential risk to consciousness and humanity as we know it. So Elon's goal is obviously to have a suitable brain-computer interface up and running before we reach the singularity, or at least very soon after it. If the human brain integrates with the AI and becomes a part of the superintelligence, then in theory, we still get to have a say in how the future unfolds. By democratizing AI with access distributed among most people, Elon is hoping to avoid a future where that godlike
access distributed amongst most people. Now, what Elon Musk is saying is that if he puts chips in everybody, if we all as a world get chips in our brains, there'll be no more strongmen. How many of y'all think that that's bullshit? Because it's going to be the strongmen that are controlling the supercomputers that control the brain chips. I don't even know why they think it's not going to be any more strongmen. Yeah, Avatar, right, Mika? Avatar. That's where it's from. It's going to be the strongmen, the rich, the wealthy that are going to be controlling, and I'm going to stop it right here because I shared that video out on my community wall. I don't want to play all of anybody's content, and I really, really wish that y'all would go ahead and watch some of these videos if you want to educate yourself on what's going on, and watch some of those TED Talks and TEDx that they have on YouTube, because those are very informative also. But think about it. Doesn't Apple have all of our information stored in its data? When you think that you erase something off of your iPhone, or you think that you erase a video off of YouTube and you think it's not accessible, no. Once it's processed through the computer, it never, ever leaves it. So they will always have access to any and every part of you once that chip is in your brain. Or it's the same as the Apple, Google, everything. As soon as it goes into that computer, that voice, that image, those thoughts and everything, they are no longer your property. And it's always going to be somebody that is in control of the main computer. Yes, and the Ring camera, girl. Yes, the camera system, everything. They hold it they call it what, the motherboard or the mother computer. This is no longer sci-fi, right? This is our real life. This is our real world now. This is what we're entering, And then we have all of these primitive thinking people and not even thinking towards the ways that we and our rights can be taken is far greater than some chains and some whips. Now, before I get up off of here, I got to touch on the whole people coming after homosexuality, right? And people talking about we shouldn't be complaining because we're no longer slaves, and we should stop remembering slavery, and we need to let it go. And now the government and religion is being weaponized against homosexuality, right? And I was listening to somebody that I was going to do some commentary on Tiffany. Y'all, I talked about Tiffany Montgomery. And Tiffany Montgomery says that we as Black people need to stop basically making an idol of our skin. It's demonic if we make an idol of our skin. We need to stop focusing on our skin. We're focusing on our history. And history always repeats itself. Always. You can go back in time. Hell, go back to the Bible. It was war, and everything that's happening today happened in the Bible thousands of years ago, right? So to forget your past, you are doomed and damned to repeat it. So it's asinine for people to say, "Oh, don't talk about this and that." You're focusing on the past. You have to focus on the past in order to see where you're going in the present and see into the future, you know? But I want to say this about homosexuality. I think that homosexuality is natural in a lot of instances, and then in some instances I do think that it is traumatic. But I want to say for slave and descendants of slaves. Now, every Black person in the United States or on this planet does not believe that they're a descendant of any type of slavery, you know, and that's their right to believe that. And maybe they've traced their history back to, you know, whatever, pre-colonization. I don't know. But if you don't pay attention to your history, you are damned and doomed to repeat it. So let me play something for y'all right quick. Hold on. Before we get off of here. This is for Black folks, descendants. If you've traced your lineage and you are a descendant of slavery, which I am, ain't no shame in me admitting it. We've traced our lineage, so I know that I am. But I want to play this before I get off of here. Hold on. Hold on. Something that y'all might not know. It's a little gory though. Give me a second. Hold on.
It's your boy Takedown Man. And tonight we're going to talk about some things they don't teach you in the history class. This one's called buck breaking. The process of breaking the buck involves one of the most heinous and atrocious acts known to man. A slave who was defiant and may stir up trouble was beaten with a whip until bloody in front of his entire slave congregation. The slave owner, afraid of an uprising, would cut down a tree, and with the top and the help of the overseer, would then beat the defiant buck into submission. Once the slave was worn down, the master had the other slaves force that slave over a tree stump, where they were then laid naked and exposed. What came next caused fear and terror to ripple through every slave plantation across the South. The master would explain to all the other slaves that if they did not follow strict orders and comply with the whims of the overseers and the masters, this too would be their fate. The master would then remove his clothing.
Did you hear that? The master, i.e. owner, i.e. colonizer, would remove his own clothing as the brutally beaten, bloody, slave was laid helpless over the tree stump, listen to what happened next. Buck breaking. So an introduction to homosexual behavior was introduced. If you follow me, an introduction to homosexual behavior was introduced to the black slave by the colonizers.
Proceed to sodomize the slave in front of his wife, family, friends, and children. He would then invite his friends from other plantations to join in the raping festivals. In order for this plan to take effect, he would require the slave's children to watch, front row center, so they too could witness their parents' sexual demise and humiliation. Buck breaking was the slave's master's very effective tool to keep all slaves from ever being defiant and taking revenge. It also frightened the mothers and wives from ever giving consent to an uprising.
So the fight back fear was not only beaten out of us, it was raped out of us too. It was starved out of us. It was taken away from us in every sense of the word. So when I tell y'all, and I'm not even going to play the rest of that, I'll share that one out on my community wall too. But when you talk about history, you need to know the things that were done in the name of God with Bible in hand, in one hand, and whip in the other. You need to know the things that were done to your ancestors. And don't you ever, ever, ever call a black slave weak. You wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the strength of your ancestors to survive 400 years of that. None of us who have a history, because I can't speak for all, and I'm not trying to speak for all, but what I'm saying is, how dare anybody with black or brown skin who had ancestry that survived that level of torment daily? And they didn't only do it to the men, they'd publicly violate women and children to instill fear. So y'all, yes, that's why there were so many, exactly. That's why there were so many biblical babies, exactly. So listen, y'all, that's the end of this live stream. I know we went all over the place today and we talked about, but I think that everything is relevant based upon what we're experiencing today. We're experiencing a reemergence of the colonizer spirit, because we got a whole old ass colonizer in the White House. His daddy was a colonizer and his daddy's daddy was a colonizer. If you look at the history, you will see. You will see. So listen, hey, day one. So listen, y'all have a blessed rest of y'all day. Okay. Stay woke. That's all I can say. Stay woke and don't let anybody tell you that you are not entitled to your own individual thoughts and beliefs, even if they differ from that false holy book. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful live. And I will see y'all the next time I go live. I can't make any promises though, y'all, because it's a busy life. Love you guys and bye.